Senator Roger Marshall had a fiery exchange with Secretary Mayorkas. He wanted to know if we're tracking the terrorists that have crossed our southern border. Watch this.
Approximately how many illegal aliens in this country or here on asylum have direct ties to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to the Islamic Jihad or the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran?
Senator Marshall, let me assure you that the individuals that pose a risk to our national security are our highest enforcement priority. An individual who poses a risk to our national security is our highest enforcement priority. And if detention,
so you don't know the answer to the question?
And if detention is indeed warranted by reason of the risk they present, then we indeed detain them.
Okay. Senator Marshall, the Republican from Kansas, joins me now. Mr. Senator, we don't know where these terrorists are, do we?
We don't. What we did learn is that there was 600,000 gotaways encountered at our border last year. 600,000 people came across our border. We have no idea who they are, where they're from, if they were criminals, if they're on the terrorist watch. So the Secretary is lying to the American public there. He has no idea who these people are and where they are. We know for sure that they caught and released, we don't know they released them. We know for sure that they caught 180 people on the known terrorist watch and another additional 60,000 aliens of interest. So our border's out of control, and this is why Americans, including Kansans, are scared. They're frightened, that they're concerned about their own safety and security.
But, Senator, so often we hear, we must do this, we must do that. But nothing changes, does it? That border has been open for 2.5 years. Nothing has changed. Am I right?
Right. You're right, but there's hope now. We have a new sheriff in town over on the House side, a Speaker of the House, and Mike Johnson. Met with him yesterday. He talked about after we fund Israel, his next priority is securing the border. Now, what the Secretary Mayorkas would not do is admit that the White House policies have created a lot of this problem, and changing policies could solve the problem. Stu, 2/3 of the people encountered at the border are here asking for asylum, the majority of which came through another country. So by simply changing that policy alone, by raising the bar for what it gets to have qualify for asylum, by saying if you come through a third country, you're not eligible for asylum. So policy alone can change this. So I think there's hope now over with Speaker Johnson on the House taking the lead on this.
We've got another caravan on the way. 7,700 strong, we understand. Republican officials in San Diego are calling for close that southern border. You think that's a little drastic, or is that the kind of thing we really have to do?
Well, we may have to close it until we get control of it. I just couldn't imagine telling the people back home at Fort Riley saying, just do your best, but if a couple 100,000 people come across here, that the fort is still secured. So our nation's not secure. This is why people are scared to death right now. Joe Biden has the magnet on. These 8 million people that have crossed the border under his watch, he wants them. He thinks that they're future voters for his party. We have to turn the magnet off, and it starts with changing policy on asylum.
Can you imagine what would happen if there's a terrorist incident in the United States and it's linked to someone who came across illegally our southern border? Can you imagine what would happen? Surely that's the catalyst for real change.
It is, and FBI Director Wray basically said the same thing in that same testimony, in that same hearing, that he's very concerned about the chances of some type of a terrorist attack. We've caught them carrying weapons and bombs now across the border as well. They're shooting weapons at us across the border. These people are armed, they're dangerous, they're in sleeper cells. I'm very concerned. If you see something, say something.
Indeed. Senator Marshall, thanks for being with us this morning on a very important subject. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.